welcome to Dicing with Death, where I apparently... Oh god, no. Oh shit, oh god, we're doing it so badly this
What
time.
what have you done?
At
Sorry.
first I didn't... I had the stream audio playing, so at the end of the intro, the stream audio started to kick in, and then I was freaking out, and I started clicking all around, and I hit love bites, and then I hit this other thing, and now... Fine.
Should we have another take?
Let's
Or
have
we
another
you roll
take.
with
Let's pretend this never happened.
it?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death, where this is absolutely the first take on our intro, and everyone's always happy. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I'm happy all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, doing well.
Good, good. We have a new
Back in
background for
Seattle, it's
you.
raining like crazy.
You know, Giants won the baseball game yesterday, and my section of this neighborhood exploded. It was literally formations of police officers driving down, like two in front, two in the middle, then one in the middle and behind, like driving down the road with "Go Giants" flags on their motorcycles, like raising their fists at the crowd. The entire crowd was
The
cheering for the
police?
cops. Yes. Very unusual. Then there's people like with their convertibles and their giant, like 10-foot long Giants flags, like waving them in the streets and waving them as they drive through cars. You have cars who like spin their wheels on the ground, making like steam and smoke, everything explode everywhere. And then the cop is watching them and goes, "Hey, don't do that." And they're like, "Oh, sorry." And then they just keep driving. It was amazing. Like the city should have been in full riots, but the police were like allowing everything to happen and green lighting it, and so everyone was really cool about it. It was super weird.
Huh.
How does that
Only in
compare to
San
your brain?
Francisco. Things are much calmer here,
Yes.
at least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe the maybe the burnouts and the smoke are happening somewhere else.
Maybe. Maybe. So where did we leave off last week? Since none of us actually care about baseball.
I was doing my best to fake a smile.
Yeah, I
How
don't.
did you see through it?
I wasn't watching the game, but when all of a sudden the entire town erupts within 2 seconds of each other, it's very hard not to pay attention.
Okay. So, while we wait for my Roll20 and Twitch and all that to boot up, I can give a brief little recap. So, for those of you totally out of the loop, Neil is currently playing Qualnir the Cunning, the elven thief, in the process of constructing a house slash lair in the city of Solstice, which may or may not be on stream. I don't. Oh, I'm just getting control of Roll20.
I am showing the world map.
Yeah. So you are constructing this lair in Solstice, or rather waiting for your geomancer to construct it. Last session, Kierkegaard the geomancer accidentally, or you told him to tunnel into the sewers, but what came out was a bit of a surprise. You played around in there a little bit, fought some tentacle monster, fed it your poisoned meat, and then you decided to head south to the elven homeland, Faenir, where a former priest, a stone shaper, who helped to construct the sewers, or at least repurpose them into their current form, still lives, because elves live nearly forever. So you track down this ancient elf to see what he had to say, had a conversation with him. I don't know if anything was particularly enlightening about that. Michelle, your henchman, did, however, wind up charming literally charming the spell charm, or with the use of a magical item, charming the leader of the mages tower in this elven capital. So that happened, and he'll get another saving throw in a couple of days. But for the time being, you basically have a 14th level wizard at your command, or something like that.
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
and
that's
then
the level elves cap at, or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then at the very end of the session, you heard that your sister had gone missing, and you coerced this powerful archmage to cast a divination spell to seek her out, and he was able to locate her somewhere several hundred miles to the south. And
Hmm.
that is where we left off. I guess that's our main plot point at this stage in the game. However, I'm not sure if we'll pick up with that necessarily. Well, we'll see where you take it, but it is Halloween after all, so we may have a
Mm.
spooky diversion.
Oh no.
We'll see where the session takes us. So
So
for now, you are in Thanir, the
we're in
Elfwood.
Fanir, and I am trying to get back to Solstice so that I
Yeah,
can pay my debts and sort everything out over there before I
yeah,
take off. I don't want to leave things then come back and people are like, well, you disappeared for a week or like 2 months, and so we just kind of gave your house to someone else.
yeah. So I think your plan was to go there, get your affairs in order, book passage to the south, and track down. Well, I guess you were going to go to Solstice and then come back to pick up Michelle before
Right,
heading south,
right.
right? So that's where we will pick up.
All right. Well then, I I think at this point I can literally just pack up my gear and walk out the door. I don't think I need to do anything else. So I don't say goodbye to my family. I just start leaving. I just leave.
Sounds good. So, I'm trying to remember. I think you were like in the middle of a day. Like you had done some uh, chatting with some of the NPCs around town during the day. Although time does move kind of strangely here in the Elfwood. So I guess you can leave immediately. It's sort of in this perpetual state of twilight. The sun never really, I mean, you don't see the sun rise or set. The sky is
Hmm.
just constant shades of purples and oranges and reds. And it does shift and shimmer, but the usual uh, rise and set of the sun doesn't seem to affect this place, which you would have known from your childhood.
Right. Cool. I believe I'm heading northeast, so I just start heading northeast. I mean, I lived here before. I
Yeah,
hope I
so
can
you will
figure
know
out.
that travel in this land is not. I mean, it's just as confusing as the passage of time, the setting of
Hmm.
the sun, which I just described. Uh, so you don't necessarily walk north and get north. It's this ancient wood is sort of intertwined with the Feywild, which is another plane of existence. So there's all sorts of little pockets of extra dimensional space, and so it's pretty easy to step into the Feywild without realizing it and wind up somewhere you totally didn't realize you were. But you're from here. You're able to navigate your way out. You can yeah. I guess the idea is you set your intention on your destination, and if the elven blood flows through your veins, it's generally pretty easy to travel around as long as you know where you're going.
Right.
However, if it helps protect our borders from it's tough for a hobgoblin or something to wander in and wind up in the elven capital.
Okay.
So you start heading northeast through the woods
Hmm.
with your sights on Wodheim, the nearest human settlement.
Right. I go. I
So
adventure.
yeah, so you travel through this old growth forest, uh, the, occasionally catching a glimpse of the purplish sky. Um, the spires of Fanir, the elven capital, retreat behind the trees behind you,
Hmm.
and you find yourself lost in this old dark wood. Well, sort of lost.
Sort of lost.
You're always lost in the Elfwood.
Oh, it's lost. All right. I trek. If I get tired, I sleep. And then I wake up and I keep trekking.
So you estimate it will be. Do you recall what I had told you on the way in? Where is my cursor?
I
Give me a moment.
don't.
So I think it's only about a day's journey, if I recall, from Wodheim to the Elfwood, to where you are in the Elfwood.
Okay.
So you expect that within about a day of walking, a good 8 hours of walking, you should make it to Wodheim.
Okay.
But things can get confusing. So you're trekking through this forest. Do we have some appropriate ambiance while I
Ooh,
dig through
I
my
completely
notes and stuff?
forgot about ambiance. Let's bring it up.
Yeah, well, I'm in a different setup, so I'm scrambling to get my notes and my books up.
Yes, yes. What do we have? Oh my god, there's 2 new ones.
Mm.
No.
Are any of them foresty? For those watching,
No.
tabletopaudio.com for all of your
Yes.
role-playing audio needs.
They are fantastic there. Okay. I have some appropriate sound. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We got a woodland campsite. While I
Sure.
Ooh, they got a special. They got some new stuff, which we're gonna use. Hopefully, this Colosseum theme will be a new battle music. New Colosseum underscore A. Is there gonna be a Colosseum underscore B? So excited! Yeah, we got our forest music going. So Qualinier's just walking, thinking to himself about, well, what should I do with these wizards? What should I do with this girl? How am I gonna, what am I gonna do about getting my sister back? If she's all the way back there, I've kind of pissed off some people. I heard that she was in the Southern Isles, which is where Seagate and Ashenholt are, right?
Yeah, you didn't hear that. That was sort of me helping you connect the dots. I mean, you were
Right.
in a room with a like a 16 intelligence wizard and a lore master bard. So it was pretty easy to connect the dots. From a narrative standpoint, we talked after the fact. It probably would have been more fun if I just left that a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty easy for you guys to connect the dots. That 500 miles to the south.
Right. I see. I just
The
didn't
Southern
remember
Isles.
where Ashenholt and Seagate were. Like I knew they were southward, but I didn't know how far south. I didn't realize it was 500 miles.
Well, it took you about 3 days by ship, so
Yeah.
I calculated it.
Okay. Cool. So
The
gotta get my
galleon
sister
travels
from
at
down
about
there.
8 knots. 3 days of, anyways. Yeah, so you're walking, daydreaming through this ancient forest, and you step into a clearing. Ringing this clearing is maybe maybe a dozen trees, all facing inward towards the center of the circular clearing,
Mm-hmm.
each with a face carved into it. And they, long pointed noses and pronounced eyebrows, all pointing directly at the center of the clearing. It's about maybe 50 feet in diameter, and just a grass clearing. There's a few small toadstools and stones strewn about, but otherwise just looks to be a clearing.
Okay. I go up and I inspect the different faces, try and get a good look at them. I'm curious as to who carved them. Do they look elven? Do they look goblin, hobgoblin?
Roll some sort of skill check, with intelligence or some, unless you can justify something
No,
else.
intelligence, 19.
Um, you're not sure who carved them, but they do look like ancient, as in like the carving has been so weather worn that it blends in with the rest of the bark. It doesn't look like it's freshly cut or anything like that. The one you're looking at is sort of shaped into a grimace. It's got a long pointed nose and crooked eyebrows that I can't make because I don't have that motor control. And it does have pointy ears. And out the side of the trunk. Looks like it's grimacing at you.
How open is the mouth? Like, is it carved
Um,
in deeply, or is it just like teeth
this
carved?
this one is just a small slit.
I poke something in there, like not a finger, but like a blade of not bloodletter of my other dagger. Poke it in. How far back will it go? Just to like a centimeter, or
You're able to slide your dagger all the way to the hilt, or to the pommel. No, what's the word I'm
hilt?
looking for?
Hilt
The
is the right
guard.
word.
Guard. Yeah.
Sure. I start walking around and knocking on the tree with the pommel of the dagger. Does it sound
Um.
hollow?
It seems like a solid tree. How hard are you banging on it? Like, are you?
I mean, um, not super hard. Like, I'm giving a nice solid tap, as if you were, like if you're checking a door or a wall to look for a stud. When you knock on it looking for a stud, and you can hear the difference in hollow.
Yeah. So you're going around. You're circling the tree, doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not hearing any echo or anything like that. But then all of a sudden, you hear a. That was an awful noise. You hear a creaking, groaning noise coming from the tree. Roll a perception check.
22.
Yeah. So you see a branch above your head. Looks like it's swinging and moving, and that appears to be the source of the creaking.
Oh. I'd look round, double checking that no one's nearby me, and I'm relieved that no one saw that embarrassment where I thought the tree was trying to talk to me. If is the sun at a point where it's still in phases, or am I still so far into the Elfwood that it does not phase?
It seems to be changing as you're moving within the Elfwood. So it has changed, but you're not sure if that was the passage of time or the passage of distance. Things are very strange here.
Okay.
And
where's the sun in the sky?
Omir's not a smart man. There is no sun in the sky.
Okay.
You are in a clearing, so you can look up and see the sky. It's right now splashed with hues of orange and yellow. It looks like a cloudy sky at sunset, but you don't. I mean, you're in a forest, so you can't see the sun setting or anything like that.
Right.
You just see the speckled clouds.
Okay. Well, I will. I don't know. How many trees did you say there are with faces in them?
About a dozen.
This place is giving me the creeps, but at the same time, I'm very fascinated in it. There could be. Gwelner's thinking that someone carved these trees to look like this for a purpose, and you don't put this much effort into something, especially if I can stick my dagger all the way inside of it without some sort of good reason.
Okay. Oh, are you okay? So you were banging on the side. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that when you were just talking about putting your dagger inside it again, I was assuming you were walking back to the face.
I'm sure.
I guess you can say you're pacing. You get back to the face, and it looks like the facial expression has changed. So now it's sort of.
I double checked to make sure I'm looking at the same tree.
Now you're not so sure. There's a tree on either side of it. 5 feet away.
I got this. I take my dagger, and I stab it into the tree above the face, and then I take a good look at the face.
Roll to hit.
It's a tree. It's not moving.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm rolling.
I just wanted to establish.
16.
Yeah, roll for damage. This is just your standard dagger, right?
Right. I guess trees are size large, so D3, 1 damage.
Okay, so your dagger sinks into the tree, and you see the face go. Wah!
I pull the dagger out and stumble back.
Roll for initiative.
9.
So far, no word from the tree. This is all happening in just an instant.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Oops. GM. Is it one word, GM?
Yeah. You can actually
Okay.
type
Oh,
/GR. That will work too.
oh, cool. You go first. Okay, so you sink your dagger into the tree. What was
Hmm.
that D2 for? Oh, you're just
I
checking.
was just testing the GR to make sure I wasn't lying to you.
Yeah, so you sink your knife into it, and immediately the base like lights up and making a face of shock, and you see the branches start to quiver. You've got the initiative if you wish to do
Oh
anything.
yeah, I want to pull my dagger out of the tree and stumble backwards. Well, not stumble. I'd like to walk backwards into the middle of the clearing, so I'm equidistant from all the trees. And did I ever get that short sword? I did get that short sword. I don't have my proficiency yet. I will pull out my short sword in one hand, drop the dagger to the ground, or sheath it and pull out Bloodletter. So I draw weapons,
Okay,
and then I glance around at all the trees around me.
okay. So just the tree that you stabbed is seems to be shaking to life, and the face is moving, and that hurts. Why did you poke me, elf?
I am.
You see the one of the roots and rips free from the earth.
I am so sorry. I did not realize.
A branch sort of comes around, and the smaller branches at the end wrap around the dagger hilt like fingers, and it pulls your dagger free from its face.
I didn't realize you were alive.
Step towards
I
you.
say.
Of course I am alive. This whole forest is alive.
My apologies, sacred tree. I have spent too much time among the humans.
This tree starts lurching towards you.
I back up. I keep
Okay.
I keep the same distance, like 15 feet.
Okay. All right. So it slowly lurches towards the center of the circle. You find yourself backing towards several other inanimate trees.
Hmm.
Is this okay with you?
Yeah, I try and aim
that's the
from
only way
between
you-
the two of them.
Sure.
Fuck, I don't
If
have
given,
it. Yeah, I try and make sure that as I back up, I won't run into a tree. I will, I keep
Yeah.
glancing over my shoulder as I back up.
What is your name, elf?
My name is Qualnir.
Are you not from here?
Once upon a time, a long, long time ago.
Have you so forgotten your ways that you would harm a poor, innocent, living creature like me?
Well, it's just that
Continuing to
my
lurch
friends.
towards
I
you.
point behind him. My friends had dared me to do it. I say, pointing behind him.
Do you always do what your friends tell you?
No, no, but it was a dare.
Why,
Don't you want to see what they look like?
your friends?
They're right there behind you.
Okay, you creak, turns around.
As it
underneath.
starts to turn around, I run. Fuck this shit! That's a tree.
Okay, roll initiative. See if you
2.
can- 2. There's no possible way you can beat that. It's like a size huge creature. Okay, so you split before you, before you're gone. Before he turns around, you're out of the clearing and running through the forest. You think you may hear some creaking groans following after you, but
Oh, it's a tree. How fast can he move? I get like a good 200, 300 feet from him, and I just continue walking at my normal pace. I keep glancing back over my shoulder to make sure a tree's not following me, but fuck the tree, man.
You probably spend the next hour or two paranoidly thinking that trees are jumping out to get you, but nothing ever does.
Oh, Qualnir the cowardly.
Mm,
Qualnir the intelligent?
yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think you would stand a chance versus if you actually tried to go toe to toe with a
God, no. Are you
group
kidding
of
me?
treants.
Maybe if I had an axe. If I was a DM and a player had an axe against a Treant, I would allow double damage on hits.
Sounds reasonable to me.
And 0 damage for bludgeoning weapons. That's just how I'd roll.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe half for piercing, double for axes, single for slashing, 0 for bludgeoning. Doesn't matter. Not important. I'm getting distracted here.
So eventually you slow down to a walk and continue along your way. You come to that same river that you had followed from Wodheim, which is reassuring. Probably heading in the right direction.
Start following the river north. And I lost my last non-magical, non-silver dagger. It's okay. I didn't really need it anyway.
Until you find another treant that you need to poke in the face.
Well, this time I'll just use my short sword and keep my hand on it.
Yeah. So you continue along your way, now walking along this it's a good-sized creek. It doesn't flow fast, but it's wide. Lovely, trickling light blue color. Large, round river stones at the bottom. So you enjoy this walk for an hour or two before you roll another perception check.
D20 plus 9. 17.
Okay.
Is this where I die?
No. So you are, so you're strolling along the river, and you round a bend in the river, and before you, you don't hear it before you come upon the small pool, and bathing in the pool is a completely naked woman, and she sort of locks gaze with you pretty much as soon as you round the bend, and you're like, oh, whoops, awkward.
Human?
She moves to coyly cover herself, but doesn't immediately scream out or anything like that. You do see pointed ears.
I bow my head. She's in the river, though?
She is in the the water. Yeah, about waist deep in the water.
I walk alongside until I am until she's right in the water from me. So I continue to walk along the path towards her until I'm at the closest point on the road between her and the road. And then I, say to her at that distance, the water must be freezing, and we're so far from Wodheim, and so far from Feanir. What are you doing out here like this, by yourself? It's dangerous.
She tilts her head at you. You notice that now that you're moved closer, that she has a pair of wings on her back.
And now that I see your wings, I realize you're not from Wodheim or Feanir. Although you might be from a different Fey country. My name is Qualnir, the elf. And yours is?
I am Silas, she says. And this is a surprise. I was under the impression this was a private pool. She starts shaking off the water from her wings, which look kind of soggy and wilty, which explains why you didn't see them at first.
Well, I didn't realize that we were at a party together.
And her hair sort of sits up straight. Purple Dragon Ball Z hair.
I didn't realize that we were at a party, I say.
What do you mean? She starts walking towards you.
Maybe I misheard. I thought you said I didn't realize this. I thought this was a private party.
Private pool.
Oh, well, you can understand my confusion as this being a river instead of a pool. What are you doing here? Who are you?
I was just cleaning off.
Okay. I guess that's...
She steps to the edge of the pool and reaches down and picks up a fistful of translucent fabric or something. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't. It was nearly transparent. It was blending in with the stones, and she wraps herself in it. Flowing translucent robe that matches her dragonfly wings.
Sit down on the bank of the river and I, in all my days of living in the Elfwood and traveling abroad, I don't think I've ever seen a fairy before.
A fairy? Is that what you'd call me? She takes a few steps towards you.
You're a little bit bigger than I would have expected. Quite a bit bigger. I
Um,
thought you would be the size
she's
of my finger.
no, she's about elven size, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, she's on the shorter side, maybe 4.5 feet tall, but
Right, but like
could
elf.
pass for an elf if it weren't for the fairy wings and the crazy purple hair.
Yeah.
Um, she's now somewhat clothed and has approached you. I think you're more fairy than I. And she reaches out and boops you on the nose.
Um. Really? What makes you say that?
You are an elf, are you not? She's now right up in your face, and she reaches around and pinches you on the ears.
And you too, I say, pinching her on her ears. Look at your ears. You look like an elf, except for the wings.
Now that you're looking closer at her, her ears are much more pronounced than even yours. They're. I mean, she's only about 4.5 feet tall, but she's got these big, pointy, like 6-inch ears.
You're saying her ears are bigger than mine?
Her ears are bigger than yours.
Oh man, that's so
I'm gonna roll for
emasculating.
ear length.
No, I don't want to. It's already so emasculating. Is there no fairy in the player's handbook?
Is this spooky
Or in
Halloween?
the DMG? There's no, or the monsters manual. I can't say anything right. Is there no fairy? Oh nope, there's a fairy. I just can't. No, it's a dragon. No, there is a fairy. Just wanted to picture.
Are you looking at 5e?
No,
Who said it was a fairy?
no one said it's a fairy. I was looking at. Oh, they're mentioned in the elven section, but there's not actually a fairy entry. No one says it's a fairy. I thought it was a fairy. I saw the wings. Nope, it goes from Iwig to fair. Cool. And if you're not a fairy, then what are you? I say, kind of standing up and walking around her in a circle.
I am of the wind. Gives a gentle shrug.
A sylph? A...
In your tongue, yes, that is the word.
An air elemental.
She gives a twirl and levitates a few inches off the ground.
This is a weird day.
I dwell in the treetops, but I came down for a bath, thinking it would be private. She's still buzzing a few inches off the ground.
Well, I'm so sorry to have interrupted you. I was actually planning on bathing myself. I was just going to wait a little bit later until I found a more secluded section.
Well, aren't you creepy?
Excuse me?
And with a she disappears before your eyes.
Fucking weird ass day. Whatever. I keep walking. Confused.
Okay. You continue walking along the river.
Yeah.
Everyday normal shit in the Elfwood.
Okay. Keep on going.
Okay. You trek north along the river. How did you know it was a sylph? I mean, I guess you.
I didn't. Is that the official term for it?
Yeah. Is that a
Yeah, it's a name.
Okay.
It's a name for. They use it for the air elemental summon in Final Fantasy Tactics. Deedlit uses it in Records of Lodoss War to refer to the air elemental that she summons. Sylph is just a A common
I'll have
D&D
to-
term
yeah.
for or elemental or wind spirit or something.
See,
Fairy-like
usually I do
creature?
more research than this on like the actual history of the creatures that I use.
Yeah.
But it's probably some Greek term or something along those lines.
I believe it is.
I'll figure it out later. Anyways, you continue along this river. The sky turns to a more normal-looking bluish color. First violet, and then eventually blue, and then eventually clears up. And you actually catch the trees are shrinking in size, and you're finding more hills. So you know you're getting towards the border of the elf land and the human land, which isn't exactly a border. It's sort of a fuzzy transition.
Right, right.
They live in peace, so it's and eventually you do spot the sun low in the sky to your left.
Okay. When I see it low to the sky to my left, that would be west, right? Because I'm heading north. Do I recall whether it's a 1-day or 2-day trip from the Elfwood to Wodheim?
About 1 day.
Okay, but if I
So
left partway through the day, then if I travel partway through the
You,
night, I should be able to make it there tonight, or I could sleep
I
here.
sort of
and get
I
there.
rescinded that. You don't necessarily know what time of day it was when you left.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
originally I said it was midday, but now then I thought more about it. And I was like, time doesn't work like that.
Well, if I can see the sun low to the sky, I will set up camp.
You think that you think you could push on to Wodheim by dark or shortly after.
Okay. Oh, in that case, then I will push on.
Yeah. So you would know that the border is, pretty close to Wodheim, actually. At least maybe like 5 or 10 miles southeast of there. And yeah. So you're pretty confident you can make it. Get a nice warm bed. So you follow the river. It starts to get dark, but an hour or two later, you round a bend in the river and you spot the wooden wall of Wodheim around the bend. Oh, Aaron says you don't actually spot Wodheim.
Oh, what do we spot?
Just kidding. What does he spot?
A dog.
The dog. She was talking to the dog.
You have a dog?
No. Cooper, do you want to be famous on the internet?
Cooper.
He says happy Halloween. He's wearing a skeleton costume. I don't think you can see it.
Since when do you have a dog?
It's not our dog. It's the landlady's.
Oh, okay. Why do you have the landlady's dog? Is this some sort of like ransom?
I think I don't. Aaron's just playing with her, I guess. I have no idea. Him. The dog is a man, despite how cute and fluffy it was. So, anyways, before we were so rudely interrupted by that adorable puppy, you were rounding a river bend and seeing the palisade wall of Wodheim.
Yes, except I'm not a strong man after young women.
Say what?
For those of you that didn't get that, that's a Pocahontas joke.
Oh, yes.
Because John, whatever his name is, was chasing after
30-year-old British military guy.
chasing 13-year-old Pocahontas. Yeah, creepy. Ugh.
Not sure how that came into the conversation.
Well, because I was coming just around the river bend.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The Pocahontas song.
Does Twitch just come with these puppy emotes, or
I don't know.
Are there puppy?
Oh yeah,
streams?
that's a standard Twitch puppy emote.
Okay.
Yeah, both of those are.
Alright. So you spot the palisade wall of Wodheim. Flickering firelight from the city is visible in the dark.
Okay. I proceed forward. And I enter Wodheim.
Yeah. So you will have to. There is a small gap not a gap under the wall for the river to flow through, but the entrances are on the northern and southern edge of the city.
And I'm on the western edge of the city?
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, I will then walk north and enter through the northern entrance.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. DR. Sure, you can see that. Even. The gate is still open. Or wide. The gate is wide open.
Okay.
There is a guard leaning absent-mindedly against the wall on the outside.
Wait, did you mean to roll that publicly?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't care. I was just rolling to see whether the door was open or closed.
Okay. Cool. I walk in, I guess.
Yeah. The guard gives you a nod, but doesn't say anything to you.
And I head back to the inn where I met the elves that I was traveling with.
If I recall, that was in the center of town, correct? Near the great tree.
No, I went there and then I
Oh
went
no,
back
you
to
went
the
there
front.
and then you went back. So there's okay. So that inn is right here.
Yeah, it's right
Correct?
there. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, the traveler's inn. 5 silver a night. We'll get you a room. Do you go straight to bed, or are you going to hang out in the common room for a bit?
I will hang out in the room for a bit and kind of socialize with people. Mostly listen to their conversations and eavesdrop.
Yeah. I mean, it's the usual gossip. I don't know. Hobgoblins are causing a ruckus in the east.
Okay. I find a place near the fire to keep myself warm.
Yeah. The ogres in the mountains have been quiet lately. Consensus is they're gearing up for a really big attack. So you're hanging around, eavesdropping on these rumors, sipping your fine elven wine.
Mm-hmm.
When through the door bursts a familiar face, or rather a familiar mask, in a flowing orange robe, wearing a full helm of white stone, marches in the Sunblade with his huge dual-bladed polearm on his back.
I stand up.
There is a short silence as everyone in the tavern sort of notices this imposing figure.
I rise to my feet immediately and make eye contact.
And things go back to normal relatively quickly. The people appear to recognize him and not think it of much concern. But he had tilts his helm around the room. It's sort of hard to see exactly what he's looking at, but you stood up and he locks his gaze on you and walks over towards you.
Okay. I wait for him to approach me because I'm by myself somewhere.
Yeah, he takes a seat by the fire, and Quolnir, there's been some trouble.
Perfect. I was headed home.
There has been a murder.
Who was murdered?
Master Master Rosegrove.
I don't know him.
He's your neighbor, and the murderer came from your house.
My house isn't even built yet.
I think it would be best if you returned to Solstice at once and saw to this matter.
Fair enough. That's where I was headed.
Oops, wait, close your eyes. All right.
Eyes are closed. I closed my eyes.
I guess there's no spoilers. I was trying to look back at the Solstice map, and I accidentally dragged you there too.
Can I keep looking?
It's fine. You've seen
Okay.
everything. So I think it would be best if you returned to Solstice at once and saw to this matter.
Very well. I'm on my way. But join me for some drinks in the evening. I have a few matters I was wishing to discuss with you too.
All right. Well, let's not make it too big of a night. We have much travel tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the same amount of travel no matter how much we drink.
He doesn't laugh as hardly as I just did.
Yeah.
But he yeah, okay.
I sit and sip my drinks, and after appropriate silence, I say, "There's something alive below the city."
So you're at a table, or do you stay leaning against the hearth?
I find a table for us to sit at.
You two find a table. He does order a glass of wine. and removes his helm. You notice he's looking a little more grizzled than you're used to seeing him. He's got a little bit of stubble coming in. Something alive beneath Solstice.
Something alive beneath
He
Solstice.
left out a long sigh. What did you find? I thought I told you not to go snooping around the tower.
I didn't. It happened when the geomancer was erecting my house. There was a problem. He accidentally, in digging out my basement, accidentally burst into the sewer line. Not a big problem. Some giant rats came out and ran around. We
Not a big
patched up
problem. A man is dead.
let me finish my story. We patched up the hole in the sewer. He created a magical wall to, I guess it's not a magical wall. He used his magic to summon the stones of the earth to guard off the sewer. But before he did, I was attacked by a thing. It sent out 10-foot, 15-foot long, fleshy tentacles out of a sewer grate that wrapped around my ankle and attacked at me. They all managed. It only stopped when I grabbed a rat nearby and gave it to the creature to eat instead. The tentacles wrapped around that and it dragged it off. That was the last I saw of it. We walled up the tunnels and departed. But that is the only thing that could have come from within my house or something like that. They must have broken down the wall. The house is not finished. The house is empty.
Well,
It's not even...
Apparently not. We'll see if you can get to the bottom of this.
My question for you, though, would be how do I get to the sewers below Solstice?
Well, apparently you found a way.
I don't want a door from my house into a realm filled with monsters.
Then
Believe me,
should
that's
have
been
dug.
boarded up and that will never be unboarded.
Typically, the knights are consulted before someone ties into the sewers. Kierkegaard should have known better. How much did you pay him?
Kierkegaard is eager, and it's been a while since he's done anything. He's also a little bit drunk. When I visited him in the Underdark while you were still unconscious, mind you, he had a lot of bottles around his workbench.
I'm sorry, I can't help laughing.
What?
Sunblade is very serious, but
Okay.
I love your spin on things.
Let's just say
This is very concerning.
Kierkegaard made a mistake. That's not the issue, and he shouldn't be punished for that. The issue is that something lives beneath the city, and whatever it is has come out and murdered who again? Roseblade? Rosewatch? Rosenberg?
Master Rosegrove
Rosegrove.
and his son.
And his son. Is Master Rosegrove a diviner?
No, just a merchant, but we take the protection of our citizens very seriously.
Well,
You're not
did
in,
you
you're
go
not
into
in
my...
trouble here.
Of course not. I wasn't
To be
around.
honest, I sought you out because I wanted your help in this matter.
Oh, really? What would you like me to do about this?
Get to the bottom of whatever crawled out of your basement and murdered my citizens.
I take it you've already gone into the house?
I have not.
A murder... How...
Purses his lips.
Disregarding how you know that the person came out of my house, I assume you have a reputable source for this. Why did you not go and chase after?
You will see. You'll see. We can discuss more on the road. I need to get to bed.
So cost you.
Downs the last of his glass and gets up. Yes, very well.
Okay.
He picks his helm off the table and goes to the staircase.
Okay. I stay behind.
He turns as he's stepping up the staircase and says, "I will see you at first light." don't have too much to drink.
I will drink as much as I please. And I pour myself another glass while saying that. And then when he's gone, I don't drink it. Just a moment of rebellion. Don't need him nagging me to stop drinking. Don't need another person to nag me about my drinking.
You're not the boss of me. Alright, so does Qualnir stay up any later, or do you get to bed?
I stay up for a little bit more, just thinking about things. Like a half hour, just kind of pondering and thinking to myself without the Sunblade around. And then I go to bed.
Alright, 5 silver plus 2 silver for dinner and drinks. Total of 7 silver for the night. And first thing in the morning, you meet up with the Sunblade. He has before him like several plates piled high with food. It's a little absurd for a man his size to be eating so much, but
Maybe he's part troll. I shrug. Order my own, small bit of bread and crackers with cheese. And a little
he's
salami
just,
on the side.
guzzling down the eggs and sausage. Big
Alright.
glass of milk.
Then we go.
His face is freshly shaved. Notice. And he puts his helm on as soon as he's done eating, and you step out the door and hit the road.
Okay. I think that should be our first break.
Why don't
Oh, no?
you want to take a break? I was going to say, I think we're going to do a mini session today, so we're planning on going to like 9:15, 9:30, however long. So if we do 2 1.5 hour sessions, is that
Yeah,
cool?
let's do 2 1.5. That's even better. Let's keep going.
So you and the Sunblade head north from Wodheim along the road. You estimate, I think it's like a day and a half from here to Solstice.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll probably just clear the mountain pass by sundown. And either grab an inn for the night along the road or make camp in the underbrush. So it's a rainy, dreary morning. You travel through the forest, gradually sloping uphill, rolling and winding through the foresty hills. Occasionally, coming close to the river. A couple hours in, you come to a stone arch bridge that crosses the river. And you walk across it without incident. Much less ominous without my dice to roll in the background to make it sound like there's all sorts of shit going on.
Also, much less ominous when there's no, bridge in the middle of the wilderness not connected to a road, A bridge on a main road next to a river just makes total sense. You come to a bridge, oh yeah, walk across it. Don't even think twice.
I think most players would be like, a bridge! I inspect it. Is it safe to walk across? Is it going to collapse as soon as I get to the middle?
Well, yeah, because most players don't realize the tricks the DM used. You see a blah, 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 and immediately it takes importance. But you and I have done enough, there's a noise in the bushes. I shoot my bow right away. It's a goblin. He's out at dinner with his family. You just murdered their son. Oh my god, I'm a terrible person.
You tried to pull that in one of our one-shots, and I totally didn't care. I slaughtered all the goblins anyways.
Yep. Those were the days.
That was on one of your marathon streams.
That one-shot's with you and Justin and Jackson and Rob?
No, that was just a regular one-shot. That was fine. I was at one of your marathon one-shots, me and a bunch of viewers.
Whoa.
There was a goblin village, but it was really the humans extorting the goblins.
Oh, I remember that.
Totally just rolled through, didn't listen to what the goblins had to say, and slaughtered them in like an hour and ruined the session.
Yep.
Anyways.
Okay, I'm noticing that the way that they do their layers for what you can and cannot see is a little janky. And if I move my screen fast enough, I get a little hint of what's behind the black lair.
Bum bum bum. What can you see? Tell me what you can see.
Nothing useful, but I can
Yeah,
see like
I
a half a
to
square
be
to a full square above them
to
from
be
a
honest, there's
vantage.
nothing on this map that I would actually care if you had seen, but I am kind of
It's
curious.
the principle of the matter, man. I don't know what's over there.
Roll a perception check. Where do you see something, and what is it? What does it say?
I can't make out any words. There's one sentence that I'm trying to make out, but I can't quite. It looks like Koi Kobold's cave or lair or something.
Oh yeah,
Is there a
yeah.
Kobold's cave
There
thing?
is a kobold's cave.
Yeah.
That's Solomon status. Qualnir probably doesn't even give a shit.
Oh yeah. That's about all I can make out, other than just like more hills and road lines.
But okay, so your perception check sucks. You can't see anything off the road. You know the trees are pretty thick. You're traveling up this mountain pass amidst trees.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really interesting. Midday, you see a bird of prey soaring overhead. Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
All right.
And you start making your way up the switchbacks towards the mountain pass.
Okay. We climb the pass.
Yes. Rather uneventfully. You do overtake a wagon caravan on your way up the pass. They seem to be struggling with the hill.
Okay. I don't offer to stop and help.
You guys are, yeah. The Sunblade, well, you can't really, it's hard to read his emotions with his helm on. Appears to be the point. But he seems to hesitate. But you guys are in a rush. So you reach and past this mountain pass, step over the debris of the wagons and the remains of a campsite.
Mm-hmm.
But it appears unoccupied, at least in recent history. So you weave through the small pass, past the door to the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Horrifying memories spring back into Qualnir's mind. And you descend down the other side of the pass. Roll another perception check.
Uh, 26.
Alright, up to your left, way up the peak of the mountain, you see a few humanoid creatures gathered, like 1,000 feet above you.
Mm-hmm.
Does this concern Qualnir?
People 1,000 feet above me on the mountains?
You mention it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mention it to the Sunblade. I will take notice and give him a long glance to see if I can figure anything else about them, but they're 1,000 feet up a mountain. It'll take them forever to get to me if they tried to. Just go to
sure.
Solstice.
Yeah. They look big, maybe giants or ogres, something along those lines.
Oh, if they look like they might be giants or ogres, I will nudge the Sunblade and motion to it with my head, but keep walking.
He says, I spotted them as well. We don't have time to deal with them today. But
Time to deal with them? Like we would ever go deal with them and not just walk around?
Shrugs. These are their mountains as much as ours, but it is my job to make sure they don't do any harm to our citizens.
I roll my eyes while I look away from him. Oh god, oh, just everything fell down. It's fine.
So you
Okay.
descend the mountain,
Yeah.
traversing the switchbacks, just as the sun is falling in the west over the ocean.
Okay.
You recall that there's an inn at the base of the mountain that you'd stayed in last time?
Mm-hmm. If we get to that today, then I will stay there today.
Yeah, you can reach there just after nightfall. Small two-story building on the side of the road. It's the only thing around. There is a stables outside where horses and wagons, caravans are set up for the night.
Mm-hmm.
and a flickering light visible through the window.
I enter and brace myself for the warmth of the air and the sound of music and ale and I guess ale doesn't have a sound, but the ale of alcohol, the sound of poured drinks
Alcohol
and
being poured.
yeah, and people eating, and brace myself for the wonderful nature of whatever this inn is called. What's it called?
You have not. You've not got a name. There's no sign of
I
the door.
resolve to go find out the name of this town or this inn. And I walk in and I open the door and brace myself for the wonders of the inside.
Yes. You ask the bartender, "What is the name of your fine establishment?" He tells you it is the.
Slaughtered ox?
Shit, I just had it. No, not the slaughtered ox. The inn of the. Fuck.
The slaughtered ox.
What is the slaughtered ox inn from?
That is the first tavern music on tabletop audio.
Okay.
It's the name of the first tavern music song, the one that's playing right now.
You can play the slaughtered ox music, but it's not called the slaughtered ox.
It's playing.
It's the inn of the Skipping Stallion.
Skipping Stallion.
There's no musician playing tonight, but there's a large crowd talking and gossiping and laughing, and of course drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You secure yourself a room for the night.
Mm-hmm.
6 silver. Highway robbery. What is this?
I give him his 6 pieces of silver. And I call him a Judas. Or at least a tenth of a Judas. It was 60, right? It wasn't 30? I don't know. I'm not.
So it's six silver.
Yeah, no, but the Judas was 60 silver? Or was it 30?
I don't know. Gotta read up on my Bible.
Yeah. 30 pieces. Shit. Okay, I give him his. He is 1/5 a Judas then.
What was that story? Judas.
He betrayed the Jesus to the Romans
For
30
30
pieces of silver. Yeah, he gave up Jesus for 3
Chump
gold.
change.
For 3 gold.
All you needed to do was become an adventurer for just like a few weeks, kill a couple kobolds, hundreds of gold right there.
Yeah.
Or sorry, hundreds of silver. Judas. Should have played some D&D. Okay. So unless there's anything...
total dollar value, if you converted it to modern days, would be roughly, and this is very roughly, because 30 pieces of silver, how big is a silver piece, etc., roughly $325.
Huh.
It's not a lot of money to sell someone out for.
Things were different back then, though. Or like money...
Oh, yeah. That's
it wasn't like nowadays, if you don't have money, you're starving to death.
Yeah. No,
back then, if you didn't have money, you could still live. You know what I mean? Like a poor farmer would
who had
probably...
no currency, but had...
Exactly.
You know, yeah. I know.
Okay. Way off topic. So, is there anything you need to do at this tavern? Or you soak in the ambiance and hit the hay? You've been traveling with the Sunblade for a day, so if there's anything you wanted to ask. The general impression you're getting, I mean, he'll answer whatever questions you have, but it's more of a, let's just get back to Solstice, and you'll see. All
right, well, if he's going to just say you'll see, I will wait till end C. We'll
Okay.
figure out any questions when we get there.
Fair enough. All right, so the next morning, bright and early, you hit the road.
Yeah.
And begin to travel through the lush farmland that supports Solstice. It is autumn, so the weather's kind of dreary. It's overcast and a little wet, but the fields are still full, ripe. You pass many homesteads and farms, and many travelers as well. Caravans heading in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you see the caravans taking off from your tavern in the morning, and you move much quicker than them. And then you pass a few coming the other direction. And then late afternoon, right around twilight, you see the large stone walls of Solstice forming in the distance. Jewel of orange stone sitting right on the border of the ocean and these farmlands. And you approach
Mm-hmm.
its
Of
gate
course.
and return home.
Oh, I really thought something was going to happen along the road. I kept bracing myself for, oh God, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And it didn't happen.
Highly improbable for bandits to
Attack.
attack in the midst of a vibrant and safe farmland.
Yes.
But you never know. Depends how much of an asshole your DM is.
Depends on the setting of your campaign.
Yeah.
Not an asshole. I just DM dangerous campaigns where the world is torn apart.
There's plenty of dangerous sections to my world, but Solstice is not it.
No, this is a peaceful area. Yeah.
Peaceful, idealistic coastal metropolis with a dark, dark past.
Dun dun dun.
All right, so you step in through the main gate, set your boot down on the marble walkway that flows through the center of town.
Mm-hmm.
Are you headed to your house?
No, I'm with the Sunblade. I follow him. Wherever he goes, I go.
Well, your house is the site of the murder, so presumably there.
I mean, I let him lead me there then. I do not presume where we go.
Sure. So you walk along this marble walkway, past the wooden buildings in the New Quarter, past the Traveler's Oasis, where you've spent many a night. You turn right at this intersection towards the library and the towers of the diviners and the priests. Head west from the library to your little enclave in the northwest of town where you've made your home.
Mm-hmm.
But things seem different in your neighborhood. An eerie quiet has taken over the place, and there's no laughing or gossiping around the fountain like usual. Women go about their work in a solemn fashion. The children still play, though. They don't quite seem to have
In
grasped
a solemn fashion.
You know me, always after those puns. And you are led back to your house. Roll a perception check.
God, so many perception checks. 15.
So you're standing like 100 feet in front of your house, and you don't see anything immediately. The sun, you sort of stop to look at it, and you're looking around, inspecting the scene. You're like, it looks just like I left it. The Sunblade walks up behind you and says, well, where would you like to start?
You want to show me how we got in?
Got in?
To
Sure.
my house? I don't see a door.
Got in. He didn't get in. He got out.
He didn't go back?
Nods.
Show me how he got out then. Where's my house? It's missing.
Is it missing? Oh, what? I must have. It's where it was. I don't know what happened. That's very strange. Maybe I deleted it when it wasn't the most current version.
Okay, I can build it. We have the
Can you
technology.
copy paste the new version in there?
No. I don't know how I would. It's not in a Roll20 format.
Okay. Well, so let's just put a representative shape there.
Yeah. I can draw the house from memory. It's cool.
All right. So he leads you to the front door, or where the front door would be. And Actually, hold. No, he doesn't lead. He leads you to the rose groves front door. Sorry.
Okay.
And roll another perception check.
Oh shit! I think I am missing a room. Nope. Wait. I think it goes like this. Am I crazy?
You're standing about 15 feet in front of the Rose Grove's home.
Okay. I
Rolling a perception check.
rolling a perception check. 14.
Okay. You see nothing immediately. And then the Sunblade taps you on the shoulder and points down. And you look and you see, yeah, the sand there looks a little redder than usual. And then you see his finger trace a line along the sand to your house, the reddish sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then up the wall of your house is just red streaks.
What the hell?
All the way up the side of the building.
What is it?
Some of them look like 4 parallel lines, so you're thinking red claw marks, but a lot of it is just smears of reddish brown.
What's on top? I ask.
I haven't climbed.
Lift me up.
Right. He shrugs, and you guys approach the wall of your building.
Okay.
He boosts you up. Your house is like 15, 20 feet tall.
Right. But I figure if I stand,
So-
if it's 15 feet tall and I stand on his shoulders, I should be able to look in.
Look in. There's no windows.
Or climb on top. I mean, if it's 15 feet tall, he's 6 feet tall, I'm 5 feet tall. I know I'm not standing on his head, but that's roughly 11 feet, and then I would be able to jump and grab the last few feet, I think, if it's 15 feet. If it's 20, we would need a ladder.
It's 15. You got 15-foot ceilings, so it's like a foot or so more than that.
Okay. If
I
you can't
think
get up
you'll
that
need
way, I'll go grab a ladder.
Unless you've got some clever plan that I'm not seeing, I think you'll need to make a climb check regardless.
Yeah, I can make
I'll
a
give
climb
you
check.
plus 10% if you use his shoulders,
Sure.
but I don't think it'll be an issue either way. It is a smooth wall,
68.
so-
Whew, that 10% really came in handy.
Alright, well, with a boost, you're able to scramble up enough to catch the ledge and pull yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that the red streaks, they look like drag marks, lead towards the center of your roof, where there is a hole. You approach.
Yeah. I let him know, I shout down, there's a hole up here. What the hell's that all about?
You approach. It's a perfectly square hole, about 2 feet by 2 feet.
Scratch my beard.
Perfectly smooth stone.
I scratch my beard, and I
Only
can't get
has
the
no
dimensions
beard.
of this house, well, I guess my chin, and poke my head down the hole, and I can't get this house to build right. There's something
worry
wrong
about
about it.
None
This
of
is
those
too
walls
big.
are. Most
It's
of
like-
those walls are not in there.
Yeah. It's like the entire thing is one square shorter. It's like I built it too big. What is going wrong with my house?
There are actually a few walls, so some of these back walls are in,
Okay.
and some of the front are in.
Figure this out if it's the last thing I do. I poke my head into the house.
Yeah.
Or into
so,
the hole.
So you look inside of your house.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you do see a few of those back walls, a few of the front walls.
Okay.
It's a little dark, so you can't exactly make out any details. You can roll a perception check if you want.
I would very much like to. I do have... Oops. What time of day is it? Is that why it's dark? Because it's daytime?
It's like the end, late afternoon.
Okay. 28
still
on the
some
perception check. Yeah, it's just I'm an elf, so I have night vision. So I should still be able to see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see on the floor beneath this hole, the last rays of sunlight illuminated a big red splotch in the center of the floor.
I shout down, "There's a red splotch! Go get me some rope and toss it to me so I have a way to climb back up."
Don't you have a rope on your back?
Do I? I do not have any rope. If I had rope, it is long gone.
Okay. Alright. Sunblade runs and gets some rope, comes back 10 minutes later.
Okay. I give him... This is... hopefully this is enough rope. I give him an end of the rope, and then I toss the other end down the hole. So if it's 15 feet up and 15 feet down, that's 30 feet less of rope. So hopefully it's at least a 50-foot rope, so that way I could reach.
Yeah, it is a 50-foot rope, so he doesn't have to go fetch any extra. Because if it's listed in the player's handbook as 50 feet, of course every general store carries rope that is exactly 50 feet.
Rope comes in lengths of 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Haven't
surprisingly
you shopped on Amazon.com?
Exactly how much rope I need to reach any point in the house. Actually, 45 feet would be enough, but 50 is just that little extra perfect amount.
Okay, so you drop down through this hole in your roof.
Yeah, and climb down the rope, and I peer about, and I touch the blood on the ground, the red spot, and smell it. Does it smell fresh? Or can I still smell the iron? Does it stick onto my hands?
It doesn't actually come off on your hands. Yeah, I mean maybe a little bit scrapes off, but it's dry.
This blood is old, I say, looking around. I try to follow the trail. I also want to take one more look at the hole before I leave. What can you give me shape and smoothness?
It's perfectly square, about 2 by 2. So you probably had a little. You're a slender elf. You didn't have much trouble, but a 2 by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly square, perfectly smooth sides.
Okay, I follow the trail and head roughly in the direction of the staircase, expecting it to go that way.
Yes, exactly. It's not a perfect stream of blood, but there's drag marks leading roughly to your staircase, and then down the staircase as if you drops of blood on the steps here and there.
Yeah,
you descend into your basement.
All right, I've posted the full map on the site on the page for the stream for a moment, so people can see and follow along.
Yeah.
I go down to the lower section. I follow down the staircase. Yeah. Maybe I should have brought a torch with me. I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I grasp bloodletter, draw it from its sheath, and focus really hard on producing light out of it, like a soft red glow.
This is not 5th edition. Not all magic weapons glow. No, bloodletter doesn't glow.
Okay, it's worth a shot.
Concentrate on that specific thing.
Okay. I go back to the rope and climb out before I actually descend the staircase. I get to the roof, and go back to the Sunblade and say, as I suspected, the drag marks lead downstairs into the basement, which probably means they broke through the sewer again. Can you get me a torch?
Yeah, he produces one from... actually, no, he doesn't. Derp. Would you like light?
Yes.
On what?
Oh, that's... I draw my short sword and hold it above him. Oh, my short sword.
He makes a gesture with his hand, and your short sword illuminates light in a 60-foot radius.
Fantastic. I nod and say, "Don't let go of that rope."
60-foot radius don't you be nerfing my NPC spells like you did last time.
What did I do?
You talked me down to 20 feet or something. You talked me down to a torch radius, but the spell is definitely not a torch radius. It is 60 feet.
Maybe.
It's not a light spell. That's what you looked up last time.
Oh, it's not light. It's
No.
continual light. There's a
Continual
big
light.
difference
It's
there.
60 feet,
Yeah.
and it's permanent.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to go bug him if you want it turned off.
I proceed down the staircase.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I
you-
lower myself down the rope and then go back to the staircase.
All right, so you descend your staircase following the drops of blood down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You find, maybe to your surprise, a wall immediately to your left down the staircase, and you're in a small room, which you know to be your future's room.
A wall immediately to my right.
To your right, yes, sorry.
Okay.
There is no door, but there is a doorway where the door will eventually be.
Where the secret door will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I proceed through the door and head, mapping this out in my mind, towards where the secret workshop would be if there are still walls over there.
Yes, all of the walls in the basement are there. I'm trying to find your damn map because you took it off the stream.
It's back up.
Oh. Okay, give me 30 seconds.
I,
I saved it somewhere, but I'm not very...
I can send
Too
you
many
another
files
one.
to juggle.
Here is another version of map, both the same, the one that's on stream, in the Skypes.
Yeah, so all of the walls in your basement are present and accounted for. The doors have not been put in yet.
Okay.
You still hear me? I am getting... Oh,
Yeah, I can
Files.
still hear you.
file transfer gave me major lag. Okay. So you can describe your descent. I can't see the map right now. So you you follow the drag marks.
I sent you a version of it in Skype.
Yeah, it's taking a few seconds.
Okay.
That's all it is. So you can describe your basement for the viewers.
Um,
Like I said, all of the walls are there. There's just, instead of doors, there's just open doorways.
okay. I proceed through it and look for the sewer entrance.
Yeah, so you walk through a doorway from this initial room, through another room, and then to your right, the drag marks do indeed go down that hallway to the sewers. At the end of that hallway that's marked is the beginning of the sloped passageway that you followed down before to the sewers. And the drops of blood proceed in that direction.
I follow suit.
So you follow the drag marks down the sloping passageway into the sewers.
I should stop the fun town music.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I didn't even realize
But
it was on.
It's fine. We're about to transition. I think this is probably a good time for our first break.
Okay.
Your nostrils are greeted with the musky smell of the sewers. And
Perfect.
trace this trail of blood down.
Oh, this Tabletop Audio released a track called Terror.
Perfect
It's
for
perfect.
when we get back from break.
All right, we'll see you guys on the other spooky side of our break. Ooh.
Ooh.